All right, today we have quite the video. So every year I like to do these videos where it's like a year-end reflection, and I think it's so interesting to look back on some goals for the next year, favorite books and shows and stuff from this year. But this video is also a bit of a big life update. I mean, I'm sitting in between moving boxes, so we will get to that. Tried to make things look a little presentable with one single remaining plant. I'm gonna be doing my makeup too while we're talking, so all of the makeup will be listed down below in the description box, but I also wanted to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Thrive Market. Let's just swap out one box for another here. So Thrive Market is an online membership-based market. I've been a paying customer of theirs. I've had the membership myself for years. Their prices are affordable, like more affordable than a lot of the stuff in traditional grocery stores now. Orders over $49, ship free. I always look at my past orders to see if anything is on really good sale, which they usually are. But I get a lot of my, not just like food items, but also household items, cleaning products. I've been trying to convert to more like non-toxic kind of options, and Thrive has great options for that on there as far as cleaners go. I love this laundry detergent from Thrive. I feel like it's been working better for me than like traditional pods. But you can find high protein options, healthier snack options, your go-to like beverages, also just the basics. I always get olive oil on there, avocado oil, beans, and like easy microwave rice. Like they just have a lot of good, quick, healthy kind of options. I love a good deal, and I always check out their deal section because that's where you can find the best prices. Sometimes their prices on coffee and stuff are insane. And one thing that I think is so cool that I just learned about on the app is on the Thrive Market app, you can click the barcode button, and when you're in store and you're about to buy something, you can scan the barcode through the Thrive app, and they'll give you similar but healthier options on the app, and then you can like compare the price and everything. So if you're new to Thrive Market, you can get 30% off your first order and a free gift valued at up to $60 with my link thrivemarket.com/TaylorWynn. I'll have it linked down below in the description box too, so you can just click it that way. And their free gifts are usually very good, so just FYI. Get the free gift. So 2024 end of year video, here we go. Okay, sitting on the floor in a pile of moving boxes, but it feels weirdly cozy. Hoping that my mic is not picking up on all the cars zooming by. Wow, I literally feel like I am trying to film a video in the middle of a racetrack. Please don't let me squirt this all over my shirt. I'm kind of like in between. Most of my tanner's off right now. I might need to darken my face a little bit after this, but we'll see. When I was kind of like planning out this video and thinking about this whole year and just reflecting on everything, I watched back last year's video like this, which is always so friggin' trippy. And one thing that you can do that's super cool, Rach and I do this, we're due for another one, is we always write letters to ourselves and then to each other to open like in the future. We usually do like 2 or 3 years down the line. We have all of our letters from basically college. Senior year of college is when we started that. So I feel like overall the theme of this year was just like proof of how much can change in a year. So last year at exactly this time, I was very tired of doing the nomad thing and bouncing around. I was like super ready to choose somewhere to live, and I knew like the top places in my head that I was kind of considering. I was single at the time. I knew in my gut where I wanted to be, but I was kind of like making up these reasons for why I couldn't choose that place, mostly having to do with dating. I thought maybe it was just not like a big enough pool of people, and having dated all over the place for the 2 years before that when I was traveling, it definitely, like, dating is different depending on where you are in different cities. There's definitely better cities and worse cities for dating, I can tell you that. At that time I was 31 dating, and you know, was hoping to not be dating and to find someone. But I remember this one conversation I had with my friend, and I was like, I know I want to be in this place. I just, you know, I was getting too like analytical about it basically. My friend was just kind of like, you always follow your gut, and it has always worked out well. So do that. So I decided I was moving to Oregon. I was on the apps at that time in Oregon, and I was about to leave for Houston to go to doctor's appointments. And I remember that night, that same night that I had the conversation with a friend, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like focus on moving to this new place, making friends, forget about dating. So I set my location on the dating apps to Houston, just as kind of like one last hurrah with the dating apps. Truly, I kind of was like, well, okay, might as well do one more different city of dating, and then I'll be in this new spot and just kind of like forget about dating for a minute. So set my location to Houston, swipe in for like, I think literally, I don't know, 10 minutes, like that same night, end up matching with my now boyfriend. And maybe one day I'll tell the story of like all the weird things that happened in order for us to meet, because it wasn't just like we matched on the app and that was that. We've had a lot of weird crossovers with places we've lived at the same time. The amount of things that had to line up in order for us to meet that week in Houston was wild. And that was now basically a year ago. Yeah. Ooh, just looked at the clock at 1:11. So we've done long distance for this past year between Houston and Oregon. I remember like on our, I think it was like our 4th date or something, he's like, you know, saying how he's going to come visit. And I'm like, yeah. Like I've heard that before, trust me. And I just like didn't believe it. And I knew we had like such a strong connection, but with dating, you get let down so many times. And it's just like, you don't want to get your hopes up almost. That week felt different. Like I just knew it was different, but I kind of like wasn't letting myself get excited because I wanted to see like, okay, is this guy actually going to come? Is he going to like fall through on his word? And the guy follows through. That's for sure. I used to always just like wonder how when people said, when you know, I'm like, okay, but how do you know? Like I literally remember watching like YouTube videos about how do you know? Because I've been in relationships before where it was like leading that direction and I just had this like gut feeling that it wasn't right. And there's a leaf blower. Are you joking? But now that I know that feeling and don't have any doubts and just know this is the right person and the right choice and everything, I can say without a doubt, when you know is a thing. Dude is blowing leaves on this busy ass road. And I also just think dating in your 30s is very different than dating in your, especially like mid or early 20s. You just know so much more of what you're looking for, what you don't want in a relationship, what you want out of life. And I just think that all of your comments last year, I'll pop in a few here, were so true. It's like things just move faster when you're on the same page. Both of you know it's the right thing and you're a little bit older. You've had past experiences to kind of like compare and contrast to. Can't tell you how much of a relief it is just like finding my person. It's so nice and I'm just like so grateful for him every day. And I just want to say that if you're in a relationship where you do have that gut feeling that it's not right, I don't think it matters what age you are, trust your gut, because I am so thankful for my past self for doing that. I always like hoped that a relationship like this and a guy like this was out there, and if I had stayed in that past relationship knowing it wasn't like the right thing for long term, then we never would have met. I know a lot of people, especially when you get to like your 30s and it's kind of like, okay, I've invested X amount of years with this person. I want to have, maybe you want to have kids, you want like the next things in life. Ladies or gents, don't settle just because you want those next things. I mean, this is the person that you're literally going to be spending your entire life with. Okay, I'm spending way too long on eyebrows here, but I can't even really see what I'm doing. Not to make this entire video about that, but obviously that was the biggest, well, one of the biggest things that happened this year. So, big news for this next year that we're going into. I've been in Houston. I'm in Houston right now in his apartment for the last month, basically, and we have been packing up his entire apartment, selling all the furniture, packing stuff up because he's moving to Oregon and we are moving in together. Can't believe within a year I like met my guy. He's moving to where I live, which is the place that I really, love and wanted to stay and chose and followed my gut to even be in that place. He's moving there. We're moving into a home together there. Just really excited. Actually, before I came here, I packed up like 60% of my apartment already. And so when we come back, we have about a week to get everything wrapped up in my apartment. So of course, there will be more moving vlogs. I feel like I've moved like almost every year of my life. And I'm really hoping that this home that we're moving into is, first of all, it's a house. I feel like I need to rewind to talk about like the place we're moving into, or maybe I'll do that in a different video. Yeah, actually I'll do that in a different video, the first moving vlog. So yeah, it's been hectic because I was pre-filming videos to still go up throughout December while I was packing up the apartment. and, you know, recovering from the surgery and whatnot. So it was a lot. Like before I got here, it was a lot, but definitely over the holidays, I was able to relax here. We've spent a lot of time with his family, which has been really nice. And, woo, that was a little dark. I haven't used this on my fair skin yet, only with Tanner. Very warm on fair skin. So this is like a 3-part move, because packing my stuff in my place, having movers come to the new place, packing all of his stuff up, selling stuff, and I'll talk about in the moving vlog like how we're getting all of his stuff to Oregon, because obviously it's a cross-country move, and then moving his stuff into the new place too. But this kind of leads into the next, obviously, big thing that happened this year, which was neck surgery, round 2, second neck surgery. Not going to talk about that because I have videos talking all about it. If you missed, here you go. But still recovering. I don't really want to get into like how I'm feeling. It hasn't been the best. We will see. But back to this past year. Yeah, because of the surgery, the whole basically like second half of the year has been such a blur. This is a different shade of the red blush. I bought 2 more shades. This is Spicy Marg. I normally use Freckle. I need to get a better concealer because I packed this one and this is terrible. This is the Makeup by Mario concealer. This is not my cup of tea. And this one I'm liking the typology, but it's just lighter coverage. So I feel like when I didn't fall asleep till 4 a.m. last night, and I've got some dark circles going on, so I feel like I need a little bit more coverage right now, but I just don't have anything. But yeah, the second half of the year was definitely a blur. From August on, all of those months, because of the surgery and recovery and everything, just like blend together. Like I literally don't know where fall went. You know, I didn't decorate for the holidays or anything, so I'm really excited for next year to be able to go all out with decorations in the new house and actually have like space to put things and just like settle in. By the way, I think I'm gonna do like a car Q&A coming up, so if you have any specific questions about either anything I'm talking about in this video or just things you want to know, you can leave those in the comments down below. I'll check the comments and answer questions, and then I'll also post it on Instagram as like a little question bubble thing. So I'm gonna go through kind of some of my like goals or just things I'm thinking about for next year, and then also my favorite shows that I watched this year, and a few book call outs, like my favorite books that I read this year. Still the best friggin' powder that they discontinued for whatever reason, but the Urban Decay Translucent. Urban Decay, please help the people out and bring this powder back. It is life-changing. I'm still gonna use it because I have it and love it. All right, goals for next year. I'm looking down at my notes. This is always a goal, but trying to figure out health stuff more and get to a better level of functioning on a day-to-day basis, continuing to do what I can, try different things, trying to live. We're just trying to live over here, okay? Like I kind of mentioned in a different video, it does change things when someone else is involved, just because, you know, obviously we want certain things to be able to happen eventually, and leaf blower is back. Okay, my guy has moved on to blowing leaves elsewhere. Praise be. My eye primer is MAA, so I'm just going to use a little concealer on my lids. Even though I'm here for like a month and a half, I packed so minimally, like a little too minimal, because I have been packing everything and just trying to keep only what I need out. A little too minimal. I have like 5 shirts on rotation. That is my #1 goal. Second one is building community and making friends where we live. Because we're both new to the area, we're just going to have to like really put ourselves out there and, you know, join certain groups and activities and just like do all those things to try and meet people. And I do feel like it's easier definitely when there's 2 of you, because then you like have someone to, you know, chit chat with when you're going to these things and you don't know anyone. And we did make like a concrete kind of goal so we can actually hold ourselves accountable, where we're like, let's try to do at least one meetup-y kind of thing, or, you know, just some event where we're in a position to meet people each month. We're going to be out of town a lot this next year. We already have so many different things planned, and obviously coming back here to see his family, going to San Diego to see my family. I go back to Seattle to visit friends. All of our people live like scattered in so many different areas that I want to make sure that we're actually spending enough time where we're living, but also making it a priority to meet people and like build a community there, not just have it as a home base, but then be like focusing elsewhere. We all know it is hard to make friends as an adult, and especially if you're more introverted. If I could change one thing about myself, I would love to be extroverted. It must be pretty friggin' nice, especially when you don't have family where you're living. We definitely need that community. So that is a big priority. And I feel like the first year, I mean, I've already lived there for a year, which is crazy, but I feel like for me, it was such a blur between, all the health stuff and then like doing long distance and everything, that I'm almost kind of like, that year to me doesn't really count. Like, I feel like this is my actual first year of living there. And then my third is being in nature more. I am literally, I think, in one of the best places for nature. Oregon is so friggin' beautiful. There's so many hikes and mountains and lakes and day trips, weekend trips, and I just want to plan stuff for the summer. We did an Oregon coast trip this summer in Crater Lake. So just continuing to do that stuff, but also just smaller stuff on the day-to-day. Like, I always walk on my walking pad when I can, but I also want to make it a priority to actually like get outside and enjoy just where I live, like locally. And it does make such a difference when you get outside first thing in the morning. It's just so easy when you work from home to like get a routine of like not going outside. And then cooking, I think I talked about this in vlog, but I really want to just learn how to like nail down cooking meat easily and just have a few go-to meals that are like good if someone comes over. I have a couple, but I just want to continue to try to be a better chef, Looking back at this was my vision board from last year. I'll put it on the screen here. A lot of these things I feel like happened. I mean, the relationship, check. I played pickleball. I got really into pickleball this year until the surgery, but definitely want to pick that up again when I can. I love pickleball. I was like super into it. So that I did. That was something new that I tried last year. I hadn't done that before. Last year, what else did I try? I did a pottery class. Learned that pottery is not for me. I'm trying to think of what other kind of like activities or like class things I want to do this year. I really want to snowshoe. Obviously that's not going to be this winter, but next winter I definitely want to snowshoe for the first time. Maybe I could do like a real short one this winter. I've never done it before, but whenever I film these videos, I'm literally not paying attention to the makeup I'm doing on my face. Best shows, I loved Nobody Wants This on Netflix. Had the same like nostalgic kind of feel that Schitt's Creek has for me, where it's just like you look forward to every episode, you're gonna laugh. My mom and I watched it together and we were just cracking up and got very into Below Deck this year, but particularly Below Deck Down Under. It's a reality show on a yacht, but it follows the crew and like all of the crew drama. And I watched the seasons with Aisha and Captain Jason, okay? Some seasons are better than others for sure. Like, not all seasons of Below Deck are that interesting. It definitely depends on the crew and like the whole dynamic of everyone. But I will put down below like the few best seasons, I think, or like the order to watch them. And then another show, Tell Me Lies. It's on Hulu. Just a warning, there's some very intense, very graphic scenes, but it is so twisted and so good. At first I was like, I don't know about this. Like the first few episodes I was not into it, but then it gets twisted. It gets real good. If you have sensitive eyes, the Say mascara has been one of the only ones I found that doesn't irritate my eyes. It's definitely more of a natural mascara. Like it just gives you that like wispy kind of look. It's nothing super dramatic, but just for day to day when you want to put mascara on, if you have eyes that burn with most mascaras, this one for me has been good. So I'm gonna use it, even though I would want like a little more drama. I might layer it with my L'Oreal one. Okay, so I did not read nearly as many books this year as I did last year. I think last year I was at like 37. Yeah, I read 37 in 2023. In 2024, I read 24 books. So I have 4 top books. The first one is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. And this is one of those books that I'd always seen the cover for years. Everyone talks about it, and this always happens to me, whether it's with like makeup or books or whatever. If it's like so hyped up, it almost turns me off from it because I'm like, I just have such high expectations. The Housemaid, and they are actually making a movie out of this. This one was worth the friggin' hype, let me tell you. Did not see the twist coming, especially with thrillers. The good ones to me are ones that I'm not just trying to get to the end to like figure out who did it or like what the twist is. I'm enjoying reading it as I'm going, and I just enjoyed reading every page of that. And I also read the second book in that series, and I love that one as well. If you liked Verity by Colleen Hoover, you would love The Housemaid. Very similar vibe and feel. If you read Verity first by Colleen Hoover and then you read anything else by Colleen Hoover, you would be so freaking confused. Like, it is totally different than any of her other books, like extremely different. I was like thinking about Verity and then started looking this up to see if anyone else had this kind of theory, and a lot of people do apparently. I don't know, I kind of am in the camp that I don't know if she wrote that one. It is so different than her other books. Just doesn't sound like her, like the writing at all. And she hasn't written anything else similar to it since. So who knows, that's just a theory. But if you did like Verity, you would love The Housemaid. First Lie Wins. I loved this book. This was one of the best mysteries I have read. Super well written. It's interesting from the very beginning. And again, you aren't spending too much time trying to figure out what's happening because there's so many different things building on each other. And I just enjoyed, again, reading every page of this. Different category. This one's a romance, but Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I love a lot of her books, but this one to me, I think might be my favorite of hers. This is my book boyfriend, okay? One of my favorite guy characters ever. And then one that I loved that I recently just finished was The Wedding People. Again, this was one that I've heard really good things about. Actually, my mom read this too and told me to read it, and then I had just heard a lot of people talking about it online. From the beginning, gets you hooked, and I feel like a lot of the times when I read, I'm just trying to like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also, it's almost like a game with myself where I'm like, okay, how fast can I finish this? Maybe that's because I always kind of try to like meet my book goal from the year before, but once I just like stopped having that goal for this year and was like, I'm just gonna read to enjoy it and not worry about the number of books I'm reading, it just became a lot more enjoyable, and I wasn't trying to like race through stuff. But this was one of those books particularly that was like very curious how it was going to end, but I didn't want it to end. The main character was so interesting. I loved the banter, really good banter. Okay, I've layered this mascara, obviously, many times. Layered, you actually can get some volume in there, so usually I don't layer it that much, but I wanted to keep piling it on because of this eyeliner, and it definitely actually does build. I'm gonna wipe off my lip gloss here. I would love to know your guys' top books of the year. Comment down below, and I will definitely be screenshotting and adding some to my list of books to read. This is the gloss I've been wearing basically every day. It's not going to be for everyone because it does have like a stickiness to it. But if you like a thick, super glossy, like plumping, and this is actually like skincare too, it's made by like a high-end skincare brand, but it gives that like juicy, plump kind of look, and it stays on because of how like thick it is, and it does have a tackiness. So not gonna be for everyone if you don't like a tacky feel, but if you want to smooth out the lip lines and get that plump look, this is so nice, and it has a minty scent, which I love, but it is super glossy. Before we wrap this up, I just wanted to say thank you guys for, again, watching my content, supporting throughout all of the things, especially in the last half of this year. Thank you for being flexible and understanding, and just your comments truly in the last like 4 months have been just super kind and thoughtful, and I can't tell yet how much I appreciate them and appreciate you guys. So thank you for another good year on YouTube. I hope you guys had a good year. So again, I'll have Thrive Market linked down below where you can get 30% off your first order plus a free gift up to $60 with the link thrivemarket.com/TaylorWynn. Oh, now it's nice and silent. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.